Back in 1981, we got our first wrestling action figure line based on actual wrestlers. Most people don't even know about it. So let's talk about the 1981 wrestling line. Guys, today we're going to talk about wrestling. I've talked about it a few times on this channel, and many that watch the channel knows I'm no wrestling guy, but I grew up in the 80s. It was hard not to know about wrestling. I mean, I know there's the Full Nelson and my personal favorite, the Ozzy Nelson. Ooh, that's a tough one to get out of if you get in that one. And I know some wrestlers. There was Jake the Snake Man. There was, of course, Hulk Hogan. How could you not know Hulk Hogan? Randy Savage. And to this day, I think everyone agrees that the Honky Tonk Man was the best professional wrestler there's ever been. But did you know in 1981, there was a line of wrestling action figures released in Japan, making it the first official action figure line based on wrestlers? Now you think, well, that's probably some Japanese wrestlers I never heard of. No, there's some big names in this set. There are some I never heard of. You may have, but I never heard of them. But there was 16 figures altogether. Now, when it comes to the first wrestling figures, a lot of you probably think of Rimco 1985 line. Here they are right here. This is what a lot of people, when you ask them what was the first line of wrestling action figures, they tell you about the AWA. The All-Star Wrestling Tag Team set. Come with two of them. But we're going to dig into these Japanese ones because I just love the card of them. They're so weird looking. But before we get started, I'm not going to be able to tell you the name of this line. I mean, I asked the computer over here how to pronounce the word, but listen.
Puroresu.
You hear that?
Puroresu.
There's no way I'm going to be able to say that. No. So we're just going to call them professional wrestling because I don't speak Japanese, Chinese, whatever it is. So let's dig into these figures. And here's the first one right here. And again, I'm not good at pronouncing names in English, so I'm going to let AI tell you who this is. I know you love it when I use AI, but I can't talk good, so here goes.
Abdullah the Butcher.
There you go, right there. Look at that. It doesn't look like the figure and the picture of the card really doesn't look alike. Maybe you guys know who this guy is. I never really heard of him, but he's wearing white. He's wearing white pants, black socks, and no shirt. But he looks kind of Asian. The figure looks kind of Asian, but it looks like a black man on the card. So I don't know. Maybe they don't like black people over in Japan. I don't know. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying I don't know. And then we have, I'm not going to use AI on this one. This is Andre. He was a giant. Andre the Giant. This is the first action figure of Andre the Giant. Now, they do look kind of rubbery. And that's because they are. They're kind of rubbery. I don't know if you really put them in the Bend-em line, but hey, this is figures that are made to throw around, so you can kind of understand right there. But you can see they probably didn't get the best photo they could of Andre the Giant, or most of these. I mean, look at the little... Does that come with? Is that a trading card? Yes, it's a trading. This I didn't even think about it till right now. This might be this is probably the first action figure line to ever come with a trading card. It was really big in the 90s, but this is 1981. How about that? But anyway, let's move on to this guy right here. Who is this one?
Antonio Inoki.
There you go, right there. Now you know. I don't know this guy either. Maybe he's got a lot of laces in his boots. It probably takes him a long time to lace up those boots. But there he is right there. It looks like he's fitting getting ready. He's getting ready to put you in that Bull Nelson. Oh, man. But it's a cool looking figure. Now, I don't know why I said that. I guess it's just a generic looking figure. I don't know why it was cool. And then we have, check out this guy.
Bob Backlund.
That's a name I could have said. But there he is right there. I don't know this guy again. Maybe you do. But he's got his blue trunks on, and he's got his knee pads. This guy didn't want to hurt his knees. He's like, my dad warned me when I get older, I'm going to wish I had knee pads on, because I don't want to have a bad knee when I turn 30. Sadly, I don't know his story. He probably died in a hotel at 35. I'm not really sure. I just know wrestlers die young. So let's move on to this one right here. Hit it.
Dory Funk Jr.
Maybe these wasn't as bad as I thought they were. And this is the only one I could find online. It was on eBay, sold out of the package for $200. These things are rare. But there he is right there. Doesn't look much like a wrestler, does he? Looks like your gym teacher in high school. It doesn't really look... Wrestling got a little bit more flamboyant. Wrestling got a little bit more... He needed a gimmick. Let's be honest, this guy needed a gimmick. He's got a jacket in the picture, though. Maybe that was his gimmick. Maybe he was like known as the jacket wrestler. He wrestles you in a jacket. Watch out, he'll put you in that Ozzy Nelson with his jacket on. And then we have Look at this guy.
Harley Race.
Ah, there we go, right there. Like kind of fuzzy hair. I don't know why I didn't describe what they look like. You see what they look like, but look, he's got knee pads on, but one's blue. Why is that? Why is one blue? In the picture, he only has one knee pad on, and he's holding a belt. He must have been a wrestling champion right there. Sorry, Hulk Hogan, this guy had a belt before you did. And check this out right here. Again, I don't need no AI to tell me who this is.
Hulk Hogan.
I said I don't need AI to tell me who this is. This is the Hulkster himself. This is probably, as far as I know, the first Hulk Hogan figure. This is before Thunderlips. There, I think, anyway. I'm not really sure. When did Thunderlips come out? When was that? Rocky 2? Okay, it seems he was in Rocky 3 in 1982, the year after this. So this is before Thunderlips, and this is the first official Hulk Hogan figure. Look at him showing those muscles. I like to do that. I do that every day. I used to do it in the mirror like that, but now I go outside. I stand in the middle of the street, and I do that every day. Yeah, I gotta show everybody how tough I am. And he's got some gold boots on with a bunch of laces on it. But we're not done yet, because we haven't even talked about this guy yet. Who is this one? Rey Mysterio? Oh no, Rey Mysterio Jr.? Get out of here. It's
Mil Mascaras.
There we go. It's that one right there. Oh, has a man. I remember a guy, I used to watch wrestling when I was little. Early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. It was on TBS, WTBS. And remember there, they came on at 5 after. You want to watch Gilligan's Island, it was at 3:35. You wanted to watch, some cartoon, the Flintstones, it was 5:05. It screwed you up. You couldn't watch anything else. It screwed you up so you wouldn't change the channel. But I remember watching it. Who was that masked guy? The Masked Marvel one. He had a Masked Marvel 2, something. Y'all let me know in the comments. But who reminds me of. Could be the guy I'm thinking of. Who knows? But there he is right there. He's wearing pants. He don't need any shorts. And then we have... hit it.
Stan Hansen Bruiser.
Man, that's one cool mustache. Apparently in this one his card's missing. I'm sure it's just a picture I found the card's missing. And as you can see right there, he's got his knee pad. I'm glad they wore knee pads. You don't really see that in wrestling today. What gives, man? Knee pad. Back then they probably smoked a cigarette when they were in the ring. They probably would walk up in the ring smoking it. They had no theme song when they walked out probably either. They probably walked out smoking a cigarette. And check out this one right here. Who's this one?
Brody Bruiser.
We know that. We knew that. But there he is right there. He's wearing a fur vest in the picture. But man, he looks, this is where you can see this is one of the early creators. This is one of the guys that really got into it, had a kind of a character. I like when they have characters, man. And then we have the same figure, but he's in silver. I know, weird. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Y'all wrestling guys, was it a storyline where he was silver or something? I'm not really sure. Y'all let me know in the comments. That was awesome. My window's open, and I could see somebody walking down the road, and they were staring right at me. Although I'm upstairs, and they were looking at me. I was like, oh my God, do they see me? Do they hear me? Because usually I shut the window, but the dog likes to look out the window, so I got it open. It was just very awkward. I don't know if y'all noticed me looking over that way. So if you did, it was just very, he went by fast, and he was looking up, and we made eye contact, and it wasn't like a romantic thing. It was very strange. It was felt very odd. So let's move on right here. Who is this one?
Davy Boy.
That's an American wrestler right there. You can tell by looking at him. And he's got pants and boots on also. And looks pretty clean cut. Look at his picture right there. Look like he's body slamming somebody off the top rope. Man, that is cool. And then we have, like a skinhead. Who is this one?
The Dynamite Kid.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of you remember this guy out here. But there he is right there with his shaved hand. And look at him. He's really coming off the top ropes. Look at him. Man, he's fitting to land on Andre the Giant and put him in that Ozzy Nelson. Put him in the sleeper hole. I used to have a friend named Nicky. He always wanted to put us in the sleeper hole. I think maybe he just liked to hug on guys. I don't know, but in the 80s, he always wanted to put you in the sleeper hole. You was in playing Nintendo. Next thing you know, he's got his arm around your neck, putting you in the sleeper hole. I never went to sleep, though. I think he just liked to rub on you. And then we have, come on.
Road Warrior Animal.
Look at this one with a face tattoo and everything. Man, again, I like when they do characters, and they're really starting to get into the characters here. The Road Warrior, there he is, right there. And speaking of Road Warrior, check this out. Another Road Warrior. This one's showing his tongue.
Road Warrior Hot Tua Girl.
You know you're badass when you can show your tongue to people. Even the figure shows his tongue. It looks like it from here. Looks like it from here. Crazy. And let's not forget this figure right here. No, it's not Jake the Snake. No, sorry about that. No. It's not Phil Collins, although they're both good wrestlers. But this one is
Terry Funk.
looks like he might have a mullet. And at least the figure. The actual picture of him doesn't look much like a mullet. Well, maybe it's a mullet. Maybe it's kind of sweaty. Maybe he's been wrestling, working out. Maybe he's been rolling around with some big guys in the ring. Who knows? But that's a look at the Japan release of the first ever action figure line of wrestlers. Now, if you're a big wrestling fan, like I collect all the action figures, do you have these? You got to have the first of them. I mean, that's like collecting the Kenner Star Wars figures and not having the first 12. But they're hard to find. These are very rare. I heard the Hulk Hogan sold recently for like $2,000 or something crazy, man. It's Hulk Hogan, but Hulk Hogan is a god among gods. So let's be honest here. I guess I ain't got much more to say about this. I don't know much about wrestling, but yeah, I'm fascinated. Like I said, I grew up in the 80s. You couldn't escape wrestling with the cartoon and everything, so I like to talk about it here and there, and y'all will school me in the comments below. And before I leave, here's Hulk Hogan's most famous scene in a movie ever.
What's that smell?
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.